It's Friday. Gotta get Reddit on Friday. Reddit on Wiki starts now.
Get therapy.
I'm not reading.
Get therapy.
What's up, Wikimaniacs? It's your boy Josh here for another Am I the Asshole Friday.
No fucking way are we just rolling.
From the looks of my two co-hosts, John and Sean, it looks like I killed that intro. What are you guys saying?
The vibe is killed. The vibe is killed, that's for sure.
Josh, are you taking over like the most cringiest host in this podcast? That's my title.
Listen, I had a flight yesterday, so I'm coming off of that and just recovering. So that's all I had in my tank today.
There.
You know what? I allow it.
Wow. I'm shocked you guys let that go so easily.
We're a very empathetic trio.
My flight was 2 hours in the afternoon. I should have had time to prepare.
For fuck's sake, Josh.
Yeah. Maybe if we knew that, we'd be more.
What's up, boys? How's it going today?
In the club, we all fam.
Oh, wait, am I supposed to say what?
In the club,
Are you racist?
we're all family.
Are you racist, Josh?
I need to watch that show. I've heard that show is so funny.
What show is it? I actually don't know.
I think it's called Broad City. It's like
Something like that. Was it from 2016?
something like that.
It's quite
that's also apparently where like I can't pay. I'm just a baby is from as well.
Oh,
Wow, there's a lot of TikTok viral sounds coming from the show. I should watch it.
Okay.
wow. They need to market that show better.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's old, but I'm sure it's on some
Oh.
streaming thing.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll take a look sometime.
Broad City, not
Good,
a sponsor.
Good quotable show.
But you need to start getting sponsored by them if we're going to fucking plug them or something.
No,
The
Tim
last
Robinson.
time- Oh,
Tim Robinson needs
I'm saying.
Yes.
All right, boys. Are you ready to hop into some stories today?
Let's do it. Just to avoid that, whatever that intro was, Josh, let's get to it.
Let's move right past it
Mhm.
into a Thanksgiving themed story, not episode, but
Okay.
posted by Bonus Specialist 1607. And the title is Am I the Asshole for Disinviting My Daughter to Thanksgiving when she won't host Thanksgiving?
Ooh. I'm going to go no. Maybe your kid is a pretentious little asshole.
Okay.
And everybody has reasons to not want to host it at their place.
That's fair.
So unless you're hosting it at your place, I feel like, But I guess if you are hosting it at your place, you can do whatever the fuck you want with invites. So I don't know. Weird to force it upon somebody is all I'm saying.
I do like how you talked yourself around in a circle there.
That's quite literally every prediction on this.
That's true. All right. So in our family, holidays are rotated. So one person hosts the 4th of July, another hosts Christmas, and another hosts Thanksgiving, etc. This way, no one is constantly hosting, and it makes it fair for everyone. This post is about my middle daughter, Clara. Clara has always been skipping her host duties. When it gets to her, she has an excuse why she can't host. It ranges, but it usually goes along the lines of stress or she is just too busy. This results in other family members picking up her holidays. It's frustrating, and multiple people have talked to her about this. She's bailed on hosting Easter, but promised me that she would do Thanksgiving, and then we swapped. At the time, I made it very clear that she needs to stay true to her word, and if she dumped it on someone else, she wouldn't be going to Thanksgiving. It usually gets dumped on me anyway. So I called her and asked her if she wanted me to bring a dessert board for Thanksgiving. She told me that she could not host because she had just moved into her home, in brackets, she moved in July, and it was too messy to host. I told her she could clean since it was a few weeks away, and she told me that she can't. I know the other kids can't host, so I informed everyone it would be at my place this year. I also informed everyone that Clara is not invited to Thanksgiving. Clara was pissed when I told her, and we got into a huge argument. She thinks I'm a big jerk. My other kids are split. 2 of them are happy since they are tired of picking up her slack when this happens, while others think it is too far. So I need an outside opinion. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, John was right, I think.
I'm kind of split into two categories here.
Maybe I
Okay.
was right. Never mind. Whatever John said.
So,
Whatever John says.
Whatever John said.
so no, in a sense, because I get it. It is kind of frustrating when someone backs out of their word. Like to me, someone's word is bond. So if they say, like, hey, I'm going to pick up the slack later on, then I tend to hold people accountable for the things they say. That part I get. The one thing that I'm kind of iffy about is anyone checking on her when it's not, party or holiday time frame? Like, no one's is anyone really trying to figure out like what's the deep rooted cause, like why she's always stressed out, or if there's anything going on in her life that she may need help with? So,
I mean, I guess, but I don't know.
John is not petty John today. He's empathetic John today, y'all.
Wildly empathetic, because I don't know. I don't even know if that matters, to be honest. Sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Whoa.
It matters in the context.
That flight fucked him up.
It matters in the context of her life and her family, like communicating. But I don't know if it matters to this story. Like, it seems like a random thing. I don't know. Maybe it does, but I think it's just like, it seems like they have a pretty healthy relationship outside of that, and then it's just like this thing. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
I mean, I would say probably 99% of our stories could be like, well, did we get down to the root of it?
That's what I mean.
Like, that could be for like almost all the stories. So for this, and for all stories, we can only take what's given. Of course, this is coming from the dad's point of view. So of course, maybe that wasn't mentioned for a reason. I don't know. But I will say this. After the second or third time of the daughter bailing, you think everybody would have a family meeting and be like, do we need to readjust the way that we are rotating? Do people not like hosting? If they don't like hosting, like maybe we should, figure something out that's fair for everybody. Because it seems, for the past couple of years, it's been happening enough to where people are building resentment towards the middle daughter, which I feel like really goes against the purpose of having a family get together, in the first place.
I guess, yeah.
What's the point of like, getting together if everyone is like secretly
stressed out? Yeah.
This person's a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? So like, that is
mandatory fun is what I always call it.
It's more like a job then. If we're like, if you make hosting seem like a punishment, then, it's people are just going to build resentment when somebody doesn't hold up their end of the bargain, I guess. So
that's fair.
If I was in this family, I would have been like, all right, well, let's figure out that reason off the bat. But I mean, just going off of what can happen here, I think, it's, if you're hosting it, it's at your house. You kind of can make up the rules, whether that's right or wrong, but they can't go against it. Famously, we've been on the side of your house, your rules. So I got to go with not the asshole on this one. And it sounds like, it's been an agreement. It's happened a lot of times, like I said, enough to build resentment. So
yeah, and for the most part, I'm also not the asshole in this case, by the way.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I figured. I just, I think I also agree, not the asshole. I think it's, if she's going to all these events and expecting someone else to host, then she's like your daughter's absolutely an asshole as well. Like you can't expect other people to host and not like take a turn, because I mean, my mom hosts everything for both sides of our family, and it's a drain. Same with my mother-in-law, and you see like the amount of pressure it takes. So like we go over and help cook a meal or something like that, and try and take part of the responsibility. So if she's not doing any of that, then she sucks. And I agree with cutting her out.
It's also fair. And I kind of, that's where I'm like more in agreements with like Sean's assessment with that. They all need to sit down as a family and say, hey, who really likes hosting? Because some people, ain't gonna lie, I fucking hate hosting people. I'll show up. I can't host people for shit.
That's fair.
So
yeah.
that's why I'm just like, what if this was kind of like a self-imposed tradition where it's like, okay, they never really got to say to it. That's why. But again, for this purpose of this story, just the context we have, I am going to go not the asshole.
All right. Let me give you a bit more context. So hoping for a whippet, which is a crazy username, said,
that's a drug, right?
yeah, whippets. They say, have you ever had a conversation about coming to a compromise or seeing why Claire is so adamant about not hosting? For example, do the rest of you have spouses that can help while Claire is single? Does she have small children while the rest don't? Or maybe Clara just has a personality where hosting is rough for her. To which OP said, I have asked, and she claims she wants to host, and we have asked her to bring things before, but she does not do that. None of the kids are married. One does have a longtime girlfriend, but everyone else is on their own. No kids, and she doesn't have a personality that would make it difficult to host. So,
with that context, then I declare her an asshole.
yeah, I was gonna say they answered a lot of your questions, so I think it just confirmed what we thought. And with that information, Reddit also deemed not the asshole. So
fair. Wild
of hoping for a whippet asking that question, trying to be the sense of reason.
Just because you love drugs doesn't mean you're not a reasonable person.
No, well, I think whippets is a different level.
I honestly don't know what whippets are. I just know they're a drug.
They're like a party drug, I think. But anyway, let's move on to the next one here. Posted by Storytime Dad. And the title for this one is, Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to stop involving her imaginary friend Tom in our relationship?
Is this like Walter situation or what?
Could be. Also, they are 27 and 26, respectively.
I'm going to go with no.
I'm going to go no. I feel like imaginary friends at 20 past.
7?
That's 20, I think.
Did you imagine having a disagreement with your significant other and then they're just like, well, Tom agrees with me, so that's 2 out of 3 in this relationship. It's like, what the fuck?
I would go the same way. I'd be like, oh, well, Suzanne agrees with me.
Suzanne. Hey, why does your imaginary friend sound like she got good credit, bro?
Probably because that's a coworker with X.
Yeah. Damn, Suzanne from HR and accounting.
All right. So when I started dating Sarah, I thought I hit the jackpot. Smart, funny, and gorgeous. We've been together for about a year, and everything seemed pretty normal. But recently, I discovered that she has an imaginary friend named Tom. I had no idea about Tom when we got together. At first, I thought she was joking around when she'd say things like, Tom says you're funny, or Tom thinks we should order a pizza.
You got a peeping Tom over there.
Is Tom in the room with us?
It sounds like he is.
I laughed it off, assuming Tom was a goofy inside joke. Could you imagine she's doing an inside joke, but you're not on the inside of it?
Why wouldn't you ask about it?
But now it's like Tom's some kind of relationship therapist that I never hired. We were having a serious talk the other night, and out of nowhere she said, Tom thinks you're overreacting. I just stared at her thinking, oh great, I'm getting double teamed by my girlfriend and her imaginary friend. So I finally asked her, can Tom maybe stay out of our conversations? Sarah looked crushed and told me Tom has been her rock for years. Now she's barely talking to me, and it's like Tom's got beef with me too. So am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for asking her to keep Tom out of our relationship, or do I just need to make peace with my invisible rival?
No, I don't think that you should just make peace with it, because it sounds like you're uncomfortable with the idea of a third party involved in your relationship,
quote unquote,
which I think is reasonable.
Which is very reasonable. We're not the ones to diagnose, but I hope you can kind of get a referral to possibly like a psychiatrist or something to kind of see if there's anything lingering with your girlfriend at this time. But yeah, you're pretty valid to feel that way, because yeah, you don't want to feel outnumbered in a relationship with someone kind of imaginary and kind of dictating a lot of things that you have going on. So yeah, I'd say seek some professional help, trying to see what the situation is, I guess.
I mean, that was number one advice for sure. And I want to say, like, whenever I was saying not the asshole, I was like, I guess the only way I could be wrong is if you like really dug it into her and like called her out and was rude. Not very rude at all. Possibly the nicest way you could have done this. Just be like, hey, I'd like it to just be us two in this relationship. And then she's like,
but Tom.
Yeah. Think about Tom. So I would say, yeah, I mean, of course, we're not doctors. We don't know anything, but we have had crazy stories where people end up having some sort of, either diagnosis or like injury or something. Again, not a doctor. We can't say anything, but I would say this is not like the most normal situation. So, you know,
Yeah. I do wonder if it's like a form of communication for her where she's maybe had trauma in the past and uses Tom to like communicate her actual thoughts in an argument or disagreement or something like that. It does seem like she brings it up like just for asking for pizza. It seems like
yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was like,
Yeah.
it's crazy that you got to ask for pizza. when-
yeah.
It's kind of it sounds like it's taking over even the most mundane things about your day-to-day life, and that could be taxing to someone who's not on board with that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it definitely is something she needs to get looked at. Like she needs to talk to someone and figure that out. Now there is an update. Many people were also talking about like referring her to a therapist or and most people came to Not the Asshole. But OP gave us an update in the original post. So Tom's origin story, and it's weirder than I expected. So buckle up because things just got even stranger. I decided it was finally time to have the talk with Sarah about Tom. So we're sitting there, and I gently bring up how Tom's presence in a relationship is a bit much. She laughs at first, but then suddenly gets the serious look and says, "Okay, I guess it's time I told you the truth about Tom." Now, I'm thinking she's going to say he's a silly little thing she made up as a kid, but no. She takes a deep breath and tells me that Tom wasn't just an imaginary friend. He was her boyfriend back in high school.
Ooh.
Yeah, you read that right. Apparently, Tom was her ideal boyfriend during her teenage years when, in her words, real boys were just disappointments. She used to imagine him as this super supportive, hilarious guy who would always take her side and hype her up. And somehow, even after she started dating actual people, Tom just stuck around. Now I'm sitting here thinking, great, I'm in a love triangle with an imaginary high school boyfriend. She reassured me and said that's not how it is, but I can't help wonder if I'm competing with the ultimate perfect boyfriend who's literally too good to be true. So I guess I'll try to make peace with my invisible rival, but just so you know, if I ever hear her whisper, "Thanks, Tom," under her breath again, I might actually lose it.
Ooh, I wouldn't just make peace with
I don't
it.
think I'd stay.
I wouldn't make peace with it.
That sounds like
like-
a recipe for disaster.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a resentment waiting to happen because,
Oh.
she made an imaginary character of an ideal boyfriend, and again, that if any, just as simple as getting a pizza has to get a stamp of approval from Tom. Everything else is gonna critique and judge, and one day you're just gonna wake up and say, "Damn, I'm not good enough for you," and you
Yeah.
might end up hating this person for more reasons than you should have. So, personally, if that was me, I wouldn't put up with that shit. And I would suggest sit her down and say, "Hey, this is a boundary that I'm kind of not comfortable with. Can we try to sort this out by you seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist to maybe let's solve this together. If that's one thing that I can part with this guy, you can do it together as a couple if you really want to stay with her. But personally, me, I just can't deal with that.
Yeah, that seems like baggage that she has to overcome.
That's on her to figure that shit out.
Yeah, and I agree 100%, John. I think if you do want to stick around and like this relationship is worth it to you, then yeah, like I'd sit her down and say, "Hey, I'd love for you to get therapy. We can also get couples therapy if you need help, like learning how to properly communicate in a relationship.
Mhm.
Like there's ways where it's like you can make this work. That's up to you. But I think just sticking around and making peace with your invisible rival, quote unquote, is not the way to go."
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you really like where the relationship is going and things, like you could suggest, therapy, or just, hate to give like an ultimatum, but you just
Ultimatums are good sometimes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sometimes it could be.
I guess it's the way you word it, but like honestly, like I couldn't do this,
Yeah.
I mean, again, unless, you feel like it's your soulmate, and that's just the only issue is Tom being there. That's something that you're going to be like, I would love for you to get that checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird advice. OP should make an imaginary friend of their own. Call them Jerry and have Jerry and Tom chase each other around all day so that Tom is never around when those discussions happen.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Or instead, maybe they're romantically inclined, Tom and Jerry.
So then they'll move out together.
Like, they'll be like, oh my God, Jerry's thinking about asking Tom to like move out together. What do you think? But then you're playing just to the illusions of
yes.
and that gets a dangerous game too.
That's obviously a joke.
Yeah, this is all a joke. Yeah.
Tom said to murder you for that situation. Oh God. Yeah. It's a dangerous game you're playing.
Yeah. Reddit said not the asshole, and a lot of the comments were agreeing with what we were saying. Although Peter 095837 said, plot twist. There's no girlfriend or Tom. It's all in OP's mind.
Ooh.
That's an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Some Shutter Island Inception shit going on over here. Is the top still spinning?
I see ghosts.
I want to rewatch Inception. That movie was awesome.
I watched it like 10 times and I'm still confused.
That's how it be.
Well, then you can't watch it with that guy that we talked about a week ago or something with me
yeah.
and Sean.
What a pretentious asshole, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the one with the girlfriend that can't follow plots?
The wife, yeah, he refused to watch more than Hallmark movies with his wife.
He dead ass showed her Memento. I'm like, brother, you are not.
That is a confusing movie.
That's such a confusing movie.
Oh, fuck. All right. We got the next one here, cross-posted by Katron 5000. First for me. So, hell yeah.
Cool name. I'm not going to lie.
Great name.
It is a great name.
DJ.
It sounds like a freaking transformer.
It does, yeah. Cross-posted on our subreddit, r/Reddit on Wiki. Go check it out if you want to follow that. The title is, Am I the Asshole for Being Furious with My Pregnant Wife Over a Prank? Famously, Sean loves pranks.
I'm going with no.
Pranks.
I'm going to go with no. I have a feeling it's one of those false, I'm giving birth situation.
Okay.
And I feel that's a no-no.
We did have one where we agreed with.
We did have a couple where we agreed on.
Oh, yeah, because it was with the
guy
with
was
the
a
mom.
deadbeat, and it was a test.
Yeah.
With
the mom like pretending to have an ailment every time the wife is having any issues.
Yeah. That was the one I was thinking of.
I'm just gonna go with statistics and side with the pregnant lady.
Okay.
Like that's generally a safe pick.
Fair enough. All right. I, 31 male, have been with my wife, Lisa, since college, and she's currently 7 months pregnant with our first baby. Lisa is witty and likes to play jokes on me. For example, she likes to pass off fake facts and stories as real and see if I believe them.
I always believe them. Damn it. I'm the most gullible person in the world. Julia be doing that shit to me all the time. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. She just laughs at me. I'm like, you dumbass. You know I believe you.
I just trust. Lisa was a theater kid, and so she's great at acting and selling these stories. I used to fall for her pranks all the time since I'm gullible and she's so convincing. Yeah, so this is John.
Damn.
You lied about your age, though, John. 31 male. Come on.
You're far from that, brother.
Yeah, you're way over that.
I'm only a couple of years older than you bitch.
However, now that I've been with her for so many years, I can typically tell when she's messing with me. She's upped the antics over the years, and so she can occasionally get me to believe one of her jokes. Today, when I got home from work, Lisa had tears in her eyes and told me she needed to talk to me about something. I was seriously worried and sat down with her immediately. I asked her what was wrong several times, and she kept saying it was hard to talk about, and she was terrified I'd leave her. I kept pressing, and she told me she had an affair with her boss several months ago and wasn't sure the baby was mine.
All right, that was wrong.
That's fucking insane.
That's an insane.
I asked if she was serious, and she said she was 100% serious and started crying even harder. I got up, started pacing, and tried to gather my thoughts. After a few minutes, Lisa burst into laughter and said she was joking.
Fuck that. Hell nah.
Because what if you weren't?
Well, now I'm always thinking about that. You know what I mean? I was furious. I said it wasn't funny in the slightest to make jokes about cheating and the child not being mine. Lisa then said she was a bit offended that I believe that specific prank and not several others.
Because you were only giving out random facts.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with your relationship and the validity of your pregnancy or who the father is.
Well, Oprah said she upped the ante, but there's no upping that. Like, that is like nuclear level ante.
Yes.
Like, was it anywhere around that area? Because that's an insane leap. Like,
well, she really played it up. Like, was crying. Like, took several minutes to tell you, and then like crying harder. Like,
that's emotional torture.
I would believe you too. Like 100%, especially if that's your partner telling you that. Like, oh my god. She said she couldn't believe I actually thought she'd cheat on me. She then got teary and asked why I didn't trust her.
Because
you're just admitting that you were cheating on somebody. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh my god.
I asked why would I trust her after she pulled that prank on me, managed to cry telling me about it, and continued with the prank even though I was visibly upset. Lisa said it was harmless and I was blowing things way out of proportion.
It's not harmless. I disagree.
She continued to
The fact that
ask.
you're having this conversation proves that it wasn't harmless.
Yeah. She continued to ask why I didn't trust her, and I told her I needed some space. I ended up going to a speakeasy and have been away from the house ever since, even though Lisa has called me several times.
Weird flex. You could have just said bar.
Seriously.
I went to the coolest fucking bar in town.
No one can find it.
They let me in.
I knew the password.
I know it was a prank, but I think this joke went way too far, especially with the tears. I was also clearly upset, as anyone would be, and she should have stopped as soon as she realized I was actually falling for it. Usually Lisa's jokes are funny, but this one really got to me for some reason. I feel bad because she's pregnant with my child and I don't want to stress her out, but I need space right now. So am I the asshole?
No. Fuck around and find out, Lisa.
Yeah.
True.
That's a stupid ass prank. Again, don't like pranks. 90% of the time, I think. Was that worth it? Could you not have got the laugh in a better way? I feel like you could have.
In a way subtler way. Yeah. Like, it's great. Like, these aren't even pranks. You know, she's just lying to him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it sounds like her quote unquote pranks or jokes are. It's just like, well, I mean, a small degree, they can be funny, you know, like, I don't know.
She could have made a random weird fake fact about how pregnancy works and how the delivery process is, like, to just be like, hey, yo, that's some crazy shit. She could have done something like that. But saying about, hey, this might not be your kid. I've been sleeping with my boss for a long time. Like, yeah, obviously he's going to get upset.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's the person's the asshole. I think you need to put yes, I agree that it's probably unfair that your wife is going to be stressed out during this time, but it's kind of her fault. So she put herself in this situation. I will put a contingency. Personally, if that happened to me, I would be pissed. But because she is 7 months pregnant, labor is going to happen pretty soon. I'll be there for them, but I'll tell them in a condition that when you are in the recovery process after the giving birth, we're going to need to go to some sort of a couples therapy and just be like, hey, we need to sort this shit out because I cannot have you doing that and pulling that shit on me again. Otherwise, I won't. To me, that's unforgivable. That's a prank that goes way too far.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I mean, just as bad at, like, I feel like, yes, no cheating happened, but just the fact that you could pull this off and, like, I don't know, it's the same level of, maybe not the same level as cheating, but, like, it would be hard to trust afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, once you break trust, that's so difficult to regain. So
I was gonna say, you guys have been saying she didn't actually cheat, but all my mind is going to is, I feel like she cheated. Like, that's all my mind is going to, because I have no reason to fucking trust her. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't trust her. I'd be like, hey, once your maternity leave is done, you need to get the fuck out of that workplace, because I wouldn't want to trust you with that boss if you could make up that blatant lie.
100%. There's I would take it one step further and actually get a paternity test. I'm like, hey,
that's fair.
I got to make sure, because you've and historically we've been against men demanding paternity tests, but this is a case where I'm like, you're in your right to do so. I think in this case, so
Yeah, because I agree. Know that it is really a prank.
Yeah.
So
I mean, normal partners don't joke about that shit. You know what I mean? Like normal people who want a healthy relationship don't make jokes like that. So
that's evil. That's evil. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
And Reddit agreed and deemed not the asshole. Equivalent B6501 said, not the asshole. Send her to fake divorce papers and see how funny it is for her.
Okay, I wouldn't do that.
I'd just send real ones.
Maybe
There you go.
after she gives birth. Let's let her, pass the baby first a little bit.
I think fuck around, find out.
That's true. I just don't want the kid being affected from the stress level of that.
I guess that's fair, but I don't think it's fair for her. It's her that putting you in this situation though, because you're going to be
True.
stressed then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a shitty situation for OP to be in, but he's not the asshole. 100%.
Not at all.
No, for sure.
All right. Next one here, posted by Rocco9. And the title for this one is, Am I the asshole for not participating in an optional university assignment?
It's optional. The word is there. Just like I have an optional HOA in my neighborhood. I ain't paying no fucking $20. It's optional.
Optional HOA. I mean, I guess that's better than a mandatory one.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, it's optional. You're not an asshole for not choosing to do something that's optional.
All right.
This is some religious college. I can feel it.
Okay. I don't think it is, but
Damn.
I just got a rough talking to from my professor, so I need a second opinion. I'm in my first year of university and I'm taking a creative entrepreneurship class. The latest project we had assigned was creating a mock project and pitching it to the class a la Shark Tank.
He said it's optional for those reasons. I'm out.
I'm going to pitch boba. No biggie. I worked hard on it, completed it, and presented it no problem. Now so the actual assignment was this. So they had to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now the kicker was that the prof would choose a handful of students who did the best, and we would present it again, this time to a set of outside industry standard professionals who would act as mock judges and offer feedback on our pitches. This was all known beforehand, and while I did want to do well, I had no intention of doing a second presentation on account of, frankly, my terrible stage fright. One time was enough for me. Good thing the prof mentioned that it was optional. A week later, I discovered I was chosen through the course site, also detailing how the prof would be holding a Zoom meeting for an overview and practice runs for the final presentation. Well, I thought he said it was optional, good luck to everyone else, and went about my day. The day came for a second round of presentations, taking place in an amphitheater, which is a lot grander of an event than I had assumed, especially considering this is a first-year program. Good thing I'm not up. On a projector screen above the podium were the names of all who were chosen, including my own. I assumed that my absence in the Zoom meeting by proxy opted me out, or that willing students were chosen simply needed to confirm, and the prof would disregard the others, but apparently not. Frozen in a state of confusion, I watched the first few presenters do their thing before I was called to the podium. Easy. I calmed myself down and told the prof that I wouldn't be presenting and that they could move right along. No biggie.
I think OP is kind of a dumbass, but
That's going to be my verdict.
yeah.
Dumbass. The prof said, "What do you mean you're not presenting?" The prof was initially confused, but then became quite cross, saying that I was unprepared and wasting a spot for other students who had worked tirelessly on their own project and actually wanted this opportunity. I was weirdly guilt-tripped, and even after I reminded him that it was optional, he still scolded me in front of the amphitheater. While it became clear that the prof would have swapped with another runner-up student in the event of a dropout, it was an odd reaction to what was, to me, a simple misunderstanding over a project barely worth a quarter of our grade. He reluctantly conceded and moved along with the presentations, but the interaction did not sit right with me. Considering I too worked hard on my project, but simply did not choose to go to the bonus level. Again, while I should have personally emailed the prof beforehand, he never stated explicitly to opt out and assumed that everyone who was chosen was presenting. I have to wonder if a situation like this occurred in other years of this class being held, or if I'm just an idiot / spot holding asshole. So am I the asshole?
Yeah. Yeah, stupid. I mean, you're just doing, I mean, I guess both you and the professor are doing lots of assumptions here. And just assuming, you know, that everybody wants to do it. And then assuming if you skip the Zoom, you're obviously not interested. Could you not just, as soon as you notice that you're on the list, you were chosen, not hard to just reply back, just be like,
Yeah.
actually not interested. You know,
That's where I was going, because like I think the prof assumed like him sending the list of students that were accepted is the invite. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, hey, you've been chosen.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you.
So I think it's, and just never ever confirming that you're not a part of the thing, even at the very beginning of as soon as you see your name up there at the amphitheater, to not just immediately go up to the professor and be like, oh, like I'm not prepared, it's not going to be me, is insane, I think. And then he has to scold you in front of the amphitheater in the middle of the event, with mock judges there, with all your classmates there. And I can't imagine the vibe for the rest of the night was great.
Yeah.
I feel like you probably ruined the event. And that's all because you could have just replied back, hey, thanks, but no thanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you saying, John?
I'm going to go with everyone sucks here.
Okay.
I think the professor should have. I'm doing this based on how I would react in this situation. I'm a person who likes getting clear directions on things before I act on something. So if something says optional, best believe I'm going to think it's optional unless it's explicitly said. So I think the professor could have done a better job communicating that and communicating the expectations from the jump. And if they didn't put make it seem optional, then I think there would have been an issue. There wouldn't have been an issue here. I think the student sucks for, like what Sean is saying, assuming that they wouldn't be part of it. And I also think they're a dumbass because it's an entrepreneurship class. The point is, yes, I get sometimes you might not want to be in front of public to speak. It's very daunting. I hate public speaking as well. But you're an entrepreneurship class. If someone goes in there and like presents like kind of like a mock shark, right? That's a connection in business down the line. You're kind of an idiot for not taking advantage of having that freaking connection or, resource going down the line. If your goal in life is to be an entrepreneur where 99% of the job is making connections and, getting to know like that side of the business. So I don't like how he's humiliated in front of everybody. But that could have been avoided by OP if, like what Sean is saying, he did his due diligence to make sure that, hey, I don't want to be part of it. But there's a lot of assuming based on what you guys are saying.
And for that reason, I think he should. And I'm glad he was humiliated. Because like you said, that could have been a life-changing event,
But the professor could also have pulled him to the side instead of doing it publicly.
Right. But I think also the professors like
fucking God is, because like the other students that didn't get chosen, they could have had that life-changing opportunity. And
that's fair. Yeah.
So like, fuck yeah, I'm going in.
Yeah. And I think the professionals that are there to watch the event and give criticism and stuff like that have taken time out of their day. And the professor is probably like knows them. This is like a favor they're doing for the professor. So he's probably like, this is fucking embarrassing. Yeah. Like I want them to know this is on this dumbass who couldn't send me a fucking email. You know what I mean? Like that's all it would have taken at the beginning to be like, hey, I'm actually not able to do this. Can you pick someone else? Or even just, I cannot do this. End of sentence. The prof could have taken that and been like, cool, I'll find someone else. Like no big deal. But just like to not do so like it was such little that he had to do to opt
He already did
this.
the work. I don't know. I don't know what the point of it. I don't know where he's getting at, to be honest.
But exactly. It's like you did all this work. You got the grade. If you truly don't want to do this, then just say so. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, professor's not going to care if you tell him early. So yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards Sean on this one.
That's fair.
I understand where you're coming from, John. I just think it was such a low bar for him to walk over that it's insane that he didn't.
I would say, to John's point, the professor is kind of also not super innocent, because at the rehearsal, he could have been like checked in on everybody that
That's fair.
didn't show up. But also, these are supposed to be college students, and they're in an entrepreneurship program, so they are old enough to communicate, hey, I don't want to do it. And if you're in that kind of program, you should be kind of driven to not just like sit back and let I imagine an entrepreneur program, all the students are go-getters, or at least
You would imagine so.
I hope the professor learned a lesson and changed the verbiage to optional to be like, hey, this is a life-changing opportunity for you.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it was optional. It sounds like, everyone knew it was optional. It was just one guy didn't fucking state, hey, I'm taking the option not to do it.
And Reddit agreed and said I said asshole. Goth Penguin said, you aren't the asshole for choosing to not participate, but you're the asshole for assuming the professor could read your intentions of not participating by skipping a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, where we're coming from. It's like, it's so easy just to say I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Emails are so quick.
Yeah, you don't even have to go up to them if that's what you're worried about. Anyway.
There's also a decline function on Zoom instead of just
That's
ghosting.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I will say, I just, it's first year. It's a learning curve. I hope going forward, the student will be like, all right, just got to make sure next time to make sure I'm doing what the professor wants or what I'm supposed to be doing. So.
Not a good start an entrepreneur program if you don't want to go up and present and be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the second last one, unless you're a patron. Got two more on that side. This one's cross-posted by Green Conspirator. And this one's titled, Am I the Asshole for Suing My Boyfriend and Breaking Up With Him After Finding Out He Secretly Filmed Us and Posted it online?
Jail.
Yeah, well, it depends on where you are. That's jail.
It should be jail everywhere. That's
It
correct.
should
Yes.
Be. Not jail.
Agreed.
Everywhere. That
Yes.
is fucking insane.
Yes.
No consent, violating your privacy, jail. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I agree.
The way I would maybe murder someone. We never condone violence on this show. Never.
Never.
But-
Unless you're slapping a guy who dropped the baby. Then we
Unless blank. We actually condone violence quite often.
That should be a shirt, actually. I don't condone violence, and then on the back it says, unless, ... All right, here goes. I, 29 female, recently broke up with my boyfriend, 32 male, after finding out something truly horrible, and I feel totally wrecked by it. Also, trigger warning for not even revenge porn. You'll find out in a minute, but obviously revenge porn as well. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I end up...
You're not.
But I ended things, and now I'm suing him, and some people in my life are acting as I'm being unreasonable. For a bit of backstory, we've been together for just over a year. Everything seemed great, or at least I thought so. But over the last few months, I noticed he was being a bit weird with his phone, always turning it away and putting it face down. He also seemed to have more cash than usual, which I thought was odd because he works a normal job, and we both sometimes struggle financially. When I asked, he just brushed it off and said he was doing some side hustle and to not worry about it. Then, last week, my gut feeling went into overdrive and I decided to snoop a bit. I know, not great on my part, but something didn't sit right. No, I mean, that's fair.
Stop blaming yourself for doing it.
You're okay in this situation.
Yeah.
I went through his phone while he was sleeping and found hidden folders full of videos. Videos of us taken during private moments when I had no idea a camera was even on.
Oh,
I started freaking out and digging deeper, and that's when I realized he had been posting them on subscription sites for money. Yeah. I saw comments from strangers, money transactions, everything. When I confronted him the next day, he didn't even try to deny it. He told me he needed the money and thought I'd never find out. He even tried to make me feel like I should just let it go because, quote, everyone is doing this now.
yeah. Even if so people are doing it, it's consensual.
Yeah.
and
Well,
all
you would
parties involved, hopefully,
Yes.
are in agreement that, hey, we're going to do this so we can make money off of it. Not out of secret and not
Yeah.
out of someone's consent. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
He told me it was harmless, that people loved us, and that I should be proud of the attention. I felt so disgusted and violated. I couldn't even look at him. I told him I was done and left that day. Here's the kicker, though. I'm suing him now. I went to a lawyer, and we're going after him for an invasion of privacy and emotional distress.
Mm-hmm.
I feel totally justified, but now some mutual friends are saying I'm overreacting and that it's just the modern way of making money. And that I
Cut
should.
those people out.
Those people also need to be sued. You might want to talk to their spouses.
Holy. I should be flattered by the attention. One even said that maybe I should just move on because it's not like he hurt me physically. It's like they don't even get how serious this is and how much this is a betrayal. This betrayal has messed with my trust. I don't know. I feel like I have every right to hold him accountable, but the backlash from my friends is making me wonder if I'm being unreasonable.
Fuck
So
all of them.
So am I the asshole for not breaking up with, for not just breaking up, but also going after him legally?
No.
No.
And it's kind of good that you broke up with that douchebag along with the other friends too, because that is fucked up in every sense of the word.
What an insane thing to say to your friend who's going through like, not even like, because I said revenge porn, but it's not. I don't know what to classify it as because it's just like against your consent, selling porn before you broke up. But
Well, you can
it's the
assume
same
that he's
concept.
still selling that shit, so you could still call it.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, for them to hear all that and then be like, "Well, he didn't hurt you physically," like, bitch, is that all that matters to you? He didn't hit me, so it's okay. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, there's other forms of abuse, like fucking emotional
Yeah.
turmoil. This this person might never want to see their private life ever online, and it's up to people to decide what the hell they want to do with their life. And your ex-boyfriend took that power away from you, and
Yes.
that is insane for him to just talk to you and say like, "Hey, everything's good. People enjoyed it." Meanwhile, he's the only fucker that's benefiting off of this shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with that guy?
She wasn't seeing any benefits from it
No.
either. Not that that would make it okay, but at least then she would be aware of what's happening. It's just so many levels of fucked up. You need to like reinvent your whole social group because that is toxic to the point of concerning. I would love to check their phones just to see what the fuck is going on there.
No, yeah.
Oh,
you
they
got
bought
to.
some.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
Well,
got
not
shit.
even
know.
the bots them. I feel like they might be doing it to their partners if they're trying to normalize
yes.
shit. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at. Is like
Mhm.
other people are also being fucking having their privacy invaded.
100%. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. Reddit deemed not the asshole, of course. Foraging Druid said you have every right to sue him. Not only did he post explicit videos of you without your consent, they were filled without your consent as well. You should be entitled to not only compensation from the violation of privacy and emotional distress, but you should also be entitled to half of the earnings from these videos. I'd say for the full thing,
Full thing.
all of it.
Yeah.
What he did is morally unethical, and I can understand how it would be forever damage your relationship. While it is modern way of making money, it should be consensually and agreed upon by all parties involved.
Yes.
Yeah, because that is something that's going to take years to get over. Like, not get over, but like find some way to cope with in future relationships. So,
Are you kidding me too? Like the internet's fucking forever as well.
yeah,
Which is the
Like, even if you like
scary,
delete
sad
these
thing about it.
videos, they're still up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. The internet's forever, and like he's done irreparable damage. It's just fucking disgusting. All right. Well, I'll give a trigger warning before we move into this last one here for political discussion. So
Ooh.
if you don't want to hear a bunch of leftists clowning on,
Now, why are you listening to this goddamn shit?
move past this story because I don't want to fucking hear it. So I did this one because it had such a massive amount of upvotes in our subreddit. It was cross-posted by Mary Gets 2011.
Goat.
And the title is, oh yeah, I guess.
The button.
Sorry, it's been so long.
What are you doing?
ride right by that? What is
This guy has a 2-hour flight and he acting brand new. Crazy.
You're right. You're right. That was my bad. I double goated it there.
There you go.
And the title is, Am I the asshole for not inviting my Trump voting parents to my swear-in ceremony?
Hell no. Forever. FDT, baby.
Sean?
And if you're not smart, that means fuck Donald Trump. And I figured if you don't agree with that, you're probably not smart.
No, they all skipped this story, Sean. They shouldn't be listening right now.
Oh.
1-star reviews. Come on down.
Oh, man. Yeah.
We weren't allowed to talk about it last week, but guess what?
Today I got time, cuz.
We got
Yeah, this is our sectioned event for a little bit.
Mhm.
All right. So I passed the bar exam in my state last week. After nearly 7 years of work and suicide-inducing stress, I'm finally a lawyer.
Half of your dream, Sean. They just need to be a professional wrestler by night.
Yeah.
there.
But I honestly want to jump off a building after these election results. I'm a bisexual man who voted blue down the line. Both of my parents voted Trump. I'm disgusted, ashamed, furious. I'm feeling emotions I've never felt before. I will be sworn in at my state ceremony next week. My parents have been incredibly supportive and proud of my accomplishments throughout this process, but quite honestly, I can't even look at them today. They want to attend my ceremony, yet I feel so conflicted. So crazy that they want to go to a lawyer's, graduation. They voted for
A convicted felon.
a convicted felon.
They got indicted by a bunch of shit. By, mind you, lawyers.
By lawyers. That's what I mean. Am I immaturely wanting to exclude them out of spite, to punish them for voting against their son's interests? Perhaps. Will I regret my decision to exclude them in a decade or so when they're both gone? Maybe. I'm lost. So am I being a petty asshole?
No.
I mean, petty for sure, but I like it. I'm here with you.
It's like, I saw something like I saw a TikTok. I was gonna say I read an article. I saw a TikTok where like the Google searches are up on Trump's tariffs, on what Trump's immigration plan, and all that shit after the fact.
Yeah.
Concepts.
Too late now. Too late now, y'all. Y'all could have went out and made a difference. Y'all chose the wrong side, or just chose not to vote. And if you chose not to vote, you can't complain.
I will say the numbers are leaning more towards most people did vote that voted in the last one. It's just
No, I mean, maybe I saw something different. That Trump has had the same, like around the same number of votes throughout all three. And the votes between Kamala and Biden, like the left dropped off big time.
She's over 71 million the last time I checked. So it wouldn't be that far different.
So
right?
something about like they were missing like, was it 15 million votes from the last turnout?
Yeah, it'd be under 10, I think now, because they're still counting as we're recording this. So, yeah, so I think there was definitely a number that didn't vote, but I think it's more that people voted for the other side, which is crazy. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm Canadian. The fuck do I know?
Yeah, what do you know? You tell me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
you guys can move all up here. I'd love to have more left-leaning opinions.
Would be nice.
Apparently, according to other comments, Canada's about to do the same shit.
Sheesh.
Yeah, next year probably.
Yeah.
Not as, I hesitate to say as bad. It's like what evil's worse.
Well, I mean, this may just be the American in me talking, but I feel like we have an unproportional amount of meddling with the world politics. You know what I mean?
That's what we do.
Canada. For better,
Yeah.
for worse, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
I forget where we were. But yeah, I mean, I think you could do whatever you want to do. May you regret it when they're dead? Possibly. But also, the timing is just not right. Are you going to be like, you're not going to be happy in those photos seeing them. You're not going to be happy seeing them in general. So, I mean, when you look back at those photos, you might just be reminded, oh, yeah, that's right. These guys fucking voted against the future that they're not even going to have to do. When we have like 5 MAGA judges in the goddamn Supreme Court, thanks to your parents and other people's parents.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so fucked. We are so not to doom and gloom. There's a lot there were some wins for sure. But Oh God. It feels bad right now. It feels super bad right now.
Yeah. And I completely agree with what Sean is saying as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. Did you mention that the OP was a bisexual man?
Yes.
You know,
Affects him directly.
Affects him directly,
Yeah.
and you can try to this is the conversation I've had with Julia, and I think I told you guys this during the day of the results. The fact that I saw my wife cry, and she's probably not the most emotional person. I cry more than her, not gonna lie. And having to comfort her because she was feeling scared. I felt useless as a man, as a husband. And I'm like, man, I wish I understood what you were going with or what were you going through. But like as a guy who's straight, a guy who's like kind of like a business owner like we are, like it's not gonna affect me. It's not gonna affect Sean. And that's what makes me fucking sad. It's just like, how can so many people, especially I'm gonna say white men in this country, right? Like you have all the privileges and the power in the world to make sure that, you know, like our wives, our sisters, our mothers can have as equal of a say as we do. And people are gonna come at me saying like, oh, everyone has like, you know, the same rights, blah, blah. No, fuck that. If someone is worried about like, you know, conceiving in some way or like planning a family for the future, and they still have to be scared because some states can dictate what can and what they can't do with their bodily autonomy, that's fucked up. Us, man, we will never experience that. And as OP in this situation, who is a bisexual man, who is a upcoming president, who obviously does not give a fuck about the LGBTQ community and everything else that they're going to try to push down a line. And that's what pissed me off about this election. It's like, yes, you can have disagreements on economic policy. You can have disagreements about like, hey, what's the direction of our country's going with in terms of like finances, taxes, this and that. Fine. You can have those fundamental experience or situations. But when it comes to people's rights and people's rights to live as human beings, no matter what the fucking creed, color, whatever, and when it starts impeding in those, that's when we have fucking problems. So I don't give a shit. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a rant here. It's not even Republicans anymore. Y'all voted for a goddamn cult fucking leader.
Yeah, literally.
Right? None of his policies is like Republican. No, this is an extreme fashion of it. And it pisses me the fuck off because it's going to impede on people's rights. And that's what bothers me. And that's why it pisses me off why people are okay with that.
It's
Why?
crazy. It's crazy to me that the same people that are like, you can't make me get a vaccine, it's my body, are like, I want to control everyone else's body. Like,
oh, that douchebag who tweeted your body, my choice. Now I want to fucking, I think his name was Nick. I want to punch you in the dick, Nick, piece of shit.
Punch him in the
I
neck.
hate that guy.
Yeah, he's also the Nazi that Kanye hung out with a lot when he was going through his tirade. So yeah. Anyway,
1-star comments. Come here. Bring it on. I don't give a shit. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. People are going to say, I go to this podcast because like I want to escape political life. Well, shit that people voted for is going to affect our day to fucking day.
Yeah. So Reddit team, not the asshole. But there were a lot of shitty people in the comments. OP said, edit to everyone calling me a baby and a shitty lawyer for potentially cutting them off for having different beliefs. They don't know I'm bi because they hope Trump would purge this country of F-slur. So it's not like we disagree about his economic concepts of a plan. Yeah. I hate that shit too. When they're like, oh, like you're just disagreeing with like his political beliefs or their political beliefs. It's like, no, their moral belief is that they hope people die, basically. They want people to die. It's like, it's now a moral issue. It's not a political issue. Edit 2 to the 99% here who aren't lawyers. We can absolutely refuse clients for different beliefs. It's an ethical violation. I'm a bi man. If I don't want to represent a gay-hating MAGA in court, I don't fucking have to. Which I didn't actually know, so that's good to know. Edit 3, support does not automatically mean financial support. I paid every cent of my legal education. By support, I meant they wished me good luck in the field and were positive about my decision to go to law school. Edit 4. Wow, I don't know what's more sad, the amount of megas telling me to kill myself or the amount of megas that don't know the difference between you are and your. God save us. And then I chose, we might not have to do this. I chose the most controversial one, but now I'm thinking I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Just pisses me off.
Their voices are loud already. No reason to give them any more airtime.
Yeah. All right. That's it for this episode, Wikimaniacs. What did you think? Were these people assholes? Let us know down in the comments on YouTube, Discord, or our subreddit. If you want to hear more stories, including monthly stories we do, go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultivate Podcast Network or our YouTube membership channel. You can sign up there.
Also, if you really didn't like the end of this episode and how that went, I'd like to apologize for nothing. I'd like to absolutely apologize. Well, I've seen a lot of this in the comments. I'm sending concepts of thoughts and prayers to you. I hope you if you really hated that shit, I hope nothing but the worst for you, actually. So,
hope you get peanut butter allergy.
Yeah, I hope you get a peanut butter allergy because then we'll have actual real beef.
If you want to skip the last story, you can pay us $5. There you go. And you can get non-political stories.
How about that?
Want your money, actually.
I'll take it.
That's
There are times when I don't have morals, Sean.
I'll take the money.
It's bad when I'm like, I don't.
I'll take their money and put it towards good things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that too.
Which we are doing, people. So check out our Linktree link down below if you want to
Venmo,
donate to some good causes.
PayPal. Check it out. Don't forget, it's the final week for our Everything All at Once merch sale. The merch sale has been crazy. Go check that out because in a week's time, depending on when Sean gets to it, he's going to
minus 4 days. Yes.
He's going to delete them off the store. So go check it out. If you're a patron or a YouTube member, go check out at the beginning of the month, I posted a discount code that you can use at our shop as well. That's reddit.wikishop.com. Go check out our merch.
Sean hates that.
It pays to play, y'all. It pays to play. I'm with it.
And with that, we'll close it out. Thank you, Sean and John, for coming on today and giving your takes. Thank you, Wikimaniacs, for another amazing episode. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.
Toodles.
Bye.
Get there.